Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are going to be returning to episode number 2 in our Let's Play series of Grand Tactician, the American Civil War, playing as the Confederacy. This is a game that is currently in early access and is being developed by Oliver Keppelmuller and a small team of individuals, and this is a game that marries strategic level American Civil War wargaming with tactical level Civil War wargaming. So you build armies, you assign commanders, you organize their order of battle, you equip units with various weapons, and then when two armies collide on the battlefield, you go in and you fight that battle in tactical combat. And we will be looking at a battle a little bit later, about around the 18-minute mark of this video, where we will be looking at our first battle in this campaign. Now, we are playing as the Confederacy, and so we've been spending this is about 2 hours in, we've been spending the first 2 hours or so of this game mainly organizing our forces here. You can see that we obviously have the Army of Northern Virginia under PGT Beauregard. We have 3 infantry divisions, or was that 4 infantry divisions now, forming up at about 15,000 men currently. We have about 3 infantry brigades per division, 1 artillery battery, and then we have some cavalry as well. We have a cavalry division as well that is under General Van Dorn. Additionally, we also have the Army of the Shenandoah in the Shenandoah Valley, and we're just kind of waiting for the Union to launch their first assault. So the first video in this series looked largely at getting started, choosing policies and politics. In the second video here, we are looking at kind of getting these armies in place to resist the upcoming Union assault. Price's army in Missouri has been pushed back to Arkansas due to poor supplies. So we really need to get our logistical trains set up and ready. But this was taken from a live stream for my Twitch channel, so I don't need to kind of talk over that the whole time. I think what we'll do is we'll just jump right back into that game and pick up from the live stream. We jumped about an hour ahead, so the first video ended about an hour before this in terms of gameplay time, but the next hour or so was pretty light on any kind of meaningful activities occurring. There were no battles fought. There were some units raised. There were some policies picked, but we'll catch up on that here in the coming hour. So I'm going to go ahead and stop talking and turn it back over to myself for my live stream. If you are interested in catching the full uncut experience, there's a link to my Twitch channel in the description, so you can go over there and watch the stream replay if you want. Otherwise, we'll be continuing to play this largely uncut, but we will cut some pieces out here and there just to keep things, I guess, flowing. But that's enough of me talking. Let's go ahead and get going. So, arming civilian warships. I haven't really done anything naval-wise. Regulars. Just, okay. I don't. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Can I undo it? Yes. Okay. Phew. Militia Act 2 seems tempting. You know what's interesting is that I've noticed in the game is it doesn't seem like the length of your recruits matters, in the sense that, like, when you recruit, at least when I played it previously, when your recruits' time ended, they didn't disband. I don't know if that changed at any point. Letters of marque. Letter of marque represents, so we basically negative 2.5% Union sea trade and relations with Europe, negative 10. This act will be met with approval in Europe, whose manufacturers are dependent on southern cotton. Yeah, I guess we should go with diplomacy. That'll open up more weapons importation deals. Assignable options. Okay, so we have some more assignable options. Cavalry carbine seems useful. Let's go back to our units here and see if anything else opened up with industrialization in terms of weapons. So these guys have mixed muskets. So we got a few more weapons here. I don't know if it was because of that policy or if it was, but we have 1,500 Springfield rifled muskets, which we'll give to John B. Clark's brigade and the Missouri State Guard. So we'll upgrade these small brigades with the weapons that we have available to us. I think 1,500 is an upgrade, but it might not be. These are 3 small-ass brigades, all 500-sized brigades. And the fuck do plains rifles? I'd rather go with something standardized like Springfield's. Meanwhile, 6-pound field guns. I guess we'll give you 24-pounders. What else am I going to do? Can you stop buying those, though? Like, there's no reason to buy those goddamn 24-pounders. 12-pounders, yes. 24-pounders, no. Jared, thanks for the follow. All right, so we upgraded those troops of price. And we are raising these troops. Raising soldiers. Army of Northern Virginia. You are a Alabama. So we're going to go with the 1st Alabama. Because I don't think I've raised another Alabama unit. D.R. Jones, you're going to be the 1st Mississippi. I can't do Southern accents, so I'm sorry. Hampton's Legion will be the 1st South Carolina. The 1st Artillery. Lawton, you're a Virginia brigade, but I already named some folks after Virginia ones, haven't I? Maybe I haven't. Maybe that was Tennessee. I don't know why I'm naming anyone after a state that doesn't exist. We'll give you the 3rd Virginia moniker. Okay. I'm sure watching me rename these units is super exciting. Imbiden's regiment. We'll keep the cavalry names the same. John Bell Hood. Should have a brigade, probably. The 24-pounders are taken out of Sumter. No, they were like produced or acquired or something weird. I don't know. It doesn't look like industrialization really changed anything in terms of the weapons available to us right now, so not sure about that. Oh my God, construction. I can make a depot. Is that new? Did I not have the ability to do that before? Anyway, we should build a goddamn depot. Maybe it's just because of where they are? Can I not build it? Why not? Oh, it's got to be in range of the army. Okay. I guess we'll build a depot there. Holy hell, $5 million to build a depot. It's going to take 37 days. The Union better not push us back. Can Price build a depot? No, he can't. Oh, I'm sorry, Price. I have 2 1st South Carolinas. Blasphemy. Really? First North, 1st South, 2nd North. No. Oh, no, I do. Okay. 2nd South Carolina. There you go. All right, let's make the Army of the Shenandoah slightly bigger, I guess. They're a little bit small at the moment. We've got, what, 16,000 men that are going to be in the Army of Northern Virginia, so we should probably have about 10,000 men on the Valley. Although it doesn't really make sense. All the Union troops seem to have swung east to guard Washington. So, anyway. Samuel Cooper, you're too old to be a division commander. But you are one anyway. This army will be our 2-brigade makeup. Pond Jr., that's a hell of a name. Virginia. Nope, not enough men there. South Carolina. We'll make this a South Carolina division. I still have enough Springfield muskets, just barely, but they're all goddamn smoothbores. And then we'll do one more battery of artillery. Of Virginia boys. 90 men. 24 pounders, because that's what I've got. All right, so the artillery 28 days and the infantry 22 days. Okay. Where the hell's Longstreet? Okay. Kirby Smith. Jubal Earl. Oh, there he is. Good old Longstreet. Old Pete. Jubal Early, you can have a brigade too. Kempa. You are probably not the best choice to use as an artillery commander, but whatever. Yeah, but Sumner was too old to begin with, Gettysburg. Can you give him a Zua uniform? Theoretically, sure. So, like, I don't know that I can. Yeah, we can recolor the uniform. Give them all red, boys. I don't know which one is more Zua looking, but Johnny Red. Ooh, I like the white crossbuckle with the red. This is more British looking, but whatever. Okay. What do the Yanks have in Northern? 16,000 men there. 10,000 men. So they have 26,000. We might. You know, what'd be nice is if I could expand the unit size. Like Hampton's brigade here. I'd rather they just be a larger unit, you know? I suppose I could disband them, but. Exactly, more India. Exactly. All right, so we're still kind of waiting for the Union assault. I guess we could go on the offensive if we wanted. Oh, I didn't check cavalry carbines. I don't think I actually got anything any better. So we were going to spend that money on them, right? Springfield musketoon. Yeah, like cavalry options are pretty limited right now in terms of weaponry. What do our finances look like right now? Negative 3 million surplus, so we're into the red, which means we're going to have to start taking debt out. I think we have cash on hand at the moment. I don't see where it says how much cash on hand. Total revenue and expenses, but where's the actual money in the coffers? I think it's here. So we've got like 26 million. So right now, current monthly. Oh, it's per year. So we're not in great financial shape, but we've actually got more money on hand than the Union right now. So I want to expand Price's army because they're so goddamn beat up, but I want to get their provisions and supplies in a better situation before I do that. Because they're going to need more than 2,000 men to face the horde of Union troops in Missouri. So I'd like to get his provisions. I mean, provisions are up to 76%. Forage is low, so the horses are in bad shape. All right, the Union is going for 12-month contracts. Credit rating dropped for us down to AA+. I wonder why. Seemed like we still had pretty solid finances. No one's moving. Maybe the Union will start to march in June. All right. Economy is still expanding. Tax revenues decreased by 47 million. I don't understand the economy sometimes in this game. Corporate production fell. Debt remained unchanged. Intelligence report. The federal government is currently discussing the following policies. Militia Act 3. Okay. How did they get there? Oh, Militia Act 1 is 90-day troops. The enemy has 16,000 men have been recruited into 9 brigades. 2 new ships have started construction. Enemy's mostly defending their territory. Okay. So, the readiness of this army is ticking up. Ammunition supplies are ticking up. Provisions are ticking up. So, in the spirit of that, Robert E. Lee, you're going to fight in Missouri. I'm not going to do that to Lee. Everybody loves him. No one wants to see him shunted off to a distant theater. Why are these guys all labeled as divisions? These are not divisions. We're going to have to rename those just because that'll be confusing. First Missouri. Second Missouri. Oh, by the way, those fucking troops are awesome. They're 3-year troops. Too bad they're 500 men each. All right, so I'll just call that the Missouri State Guard. We'll rename the whole army the Army of the West. And then we will raise a new division, not with Robert E. Lee. Theodopolis Holmes, you'll command it. And we will raise some new troops. Missouri is enough for 2 brigades of 2,500 or 2,250. We'll give them green unis. That might be a little confusing in battle, but oh well. And another battery of artillery. So we have 4 Missouri brigades there. So these guys will be the 5th and the 6th. All right. A little more than double the size of this force when they're completed. The Army of the West. They'll have 6,500 troops if they can supply them. I'd like to give them more cavalry, but I worry about the forage situation, although it's getting better now that they're stationary, so let's also give them a cavalry brigade. Missouri has enough troops for 1. with Adley Gladden in command. And Springfield musketoons. And now we have no more weapons for them. We already upgraded the regular troops' weapons, so we'll go with the newly raised troops. We'll go to our last remaining Springfield Springfield muskets. And then 24-pound artillery. These guys have big, heavy punchers. And now I don't have any more guns for the troops. Which might make sense on why we'd go with like a cavalry carbine or something. Or not cavalry carbine, but so what are our options here? So we have a bunch more subsidy options here. We can go with legacy rifles. Finance the reintroduction of legacy rifles back into mass production. 1841 Mississippi rifle, Hawken or plain rifle. These weapons are considered obsolete. They're still effective and accurate weapons. I don't want to do rebore if I don't have to. I'd rather save the money up for European weapons. But how far away are we from that? So Confederate rifles are not far away. Finance Confederate weapon production with captured machinery to make the Springfield models. British rifles are a different subsidy fund, so actually that's fine. We could also fund the artillery reform, which allows us to have batteries of up to 16 guns. I think I'll wait on that. I think more important is getting weapons. But I think I'll save for the local production of Confederate rifles. Repeating rifles are an option. Dear God. Sheepy, thanks for the follow. Wait, Springfield rifle right here. Finance and mass production of Springfield. Oh, I don't. Why is it not unlocked? Oh, you need arms agents. But do we need that for Confederate rifles? Oh, okay. All right, we'll wait a little bit longer. Oh, shit. The Yankees are on the move. I think. Where's the Department of Pennsylvania going? Back up the river and into the Shenandoah. Although, are they going west? So how many troops are here? 13,000. I'm not even gonna have enough men when they're I need more troops. They're not even coming for me yet. They did take Harper's Ferry though. So their first incursion into our territory. Are they going to march south on the Army of the Shenandoah? Nope. They're going to go right back into the north. Okay. All right. So they have 13,000. I've got troops here. Let's go hit these fuckers. Ha ha! Oh, no. They're within marching range of the Army of Northeastern Virginia. So they got 13,000 men on the field with potentially another 15,000 in reinforcements. We have 14,000 on the field, but once those reinforcements arrive, whatever. Let's do it, boys. Let's fight a battle. And then that'll probably be it for the night. The Battle of Manassas Junction. After initial skirmishing and maneuvers, the opposing armies are deploying for battle. Brigadier General Pierre Gustave Touton Beauregard in command. I think we're going to be on the offensive then because of my move. Was Holmes one of the guys that Lee tried to send out west to get rid of him? By the way, I love how like Lee just decides, oh, I don't like you, so I'm not going to actually fire you or disgrace you. I'm just going to shunt you off somewhere where I don't have to deal with you. But then all of those exiled commanders become someone else's problem. Okay, so our scouts report the enemy is near Manassas Junction. Armies prepare for battle. We're facing the Department of Pennsylvania under the command of Robert Patterson. The enemy army is green. Morale is reported to be determined. Their supply situation is outstanding. Our supply situation is outstanding. So it's a meeting engagement. Yeah. All right, meeting engagement. All right, we're just going to deploy these troops at the north of the deployment zone. The Union probably deploys either near Centerville or up north. The objective is Lewis Ford. Now, we know that the enemy reinforcements come online in about 8 hours. So the question is, do we try and rush and fight before their reserves come up when we have a slight advantage or about even manpower, or do we wait and then go over into the defensive when we're outnumbered like by 10,000 men? I'm not sure. Thanks for the follow, Elder. All right, so you can see here's our formation. We've got troops that's kind of stacked with 2 up front, 1 in the rear. Van Dorn's cavalry we will send out to scout. I don't like any of these areas. I mean, the objective is Lewis Ford, so I'm not going to dig in. We're going to go ahead and play. All right, so Walton, let's go ahead and deploy Walton in a single line up near Lewis Ford. We will deploy Magruder on Ballsford to the right. And then we will have Frost's division in reserve on this hill. That's the 3 divisions. Van Dorn's cavalry, meanwhile, is going to scout. So we're going to send him up toward the Warrenton Town Turnpike to scout. Orders do take a while to arrive, so you've got to send orders like by courier and stuff. I can't remember if we had an artillery unit that was dedicated to just us. The 2 middle ones cross paths. You'd rush to take good terrain? Yeah. You can see these units are deploying as they get the orders. Although I'm not sure why Walton wouldn't have started moving. Oh, wait, no. Walton wasn't given orders, was he? Oh, shit. Okay, so these guys didn't quite deploy as I had assumed they would. Let's get these guys up on the high ground. The Union is taking the ford. They're already here. I thought I ordered Walton to move. Also, I definitely ordered Van Dorn to move, and I'm not sure why they're all so goddamn slow. The commander's like right there. But in any event, Walton, you're going to form up on the left of Magruder. Magruder's in a good spot to repel any troops trying to cross Ball's Ford. Frost is kind of up here on his own. So the Federals are trying to take the objective. Thomas's brigade with about 1,300 men. Williams' brigade coming up behind that. Then the 1st Cavalry coming up behind that. Looks like they might be trying to cross, so our artillery is actually going to open up on them. So you can see these guys are moving across the Bull Run Creek here. The 12-pounders are opening up. Our Enfield Rifled Musket Boys under D.H. Hill also opening up. I feel like one of those commanders who Lee ended up getting in a fight with, D.H. Hill, that was to a major detriment to Lee. He was a quality commander. Okay. Shit. Why are they charging? What's with the melee? Where are these guys going? Are they trying to bring troops up into our rear? Is he just ordering guys to go around without me telling him to do this? Frost seems to be doing his own thing. I'm not sure why. I'm wondering if some of these commanders are disobeying orders. All right, we did rout that one federal brigade that came across in the face of artillery. All right. Actually, Greg has mixed muskets. I thought all of our troops had better than that by now. And skirmishers in our rear, so we'll refuse that. These troops are moving now. Walton, get your goddamn division into position. Earl Van Dorn, your cavalry has been useless so far. I did order you to move up, but I don't know if because we have feuds turned on, if like some of these guys are just doing their own thing because they fucking feel like it. Well, we routed one Union brigade pretty damn quickly. We are now apparently on the attack the enemy orders. I guess the one good thing about them crossing fords is they're not really in a good position to receive our attack. Howdy, how you doing? Lady Mag. Hope you're doing well. Good night. Yeah, I guess it is like almost 1 a.m. Alright, so far the battle is going reasonably well for us. My own troops are guarding the ford here. The enemy cavalry and other troops are staying back. They haven't really like formed up. I don't know why, but they don't seem to have formed. They took the objective. They moved across the river and took the ford. But they haven't really formed into a position to me that makes sense in terms of receiving my counterattack. So that's a thing, I guess. Did you make the Polish? Was it a kingdom or empire? I'm assuming you were playing EU4, Mag. PLC. Commonwealth then? Polish Commonwealth? Alright, so let's, come on guys, come on. I know, I guess I'm used to usually playing with time compression, so things seem to be moving slowly. Alright, don't take getting shot in the back. Turn around. We've still got one more brigade for the 1st North Carolina, which can cover the ford. 2nd North and 1st Alabama firing into these skirmishers here. I don't usually use skirmishers too much. The AI is pretty good at using skirmishers in this game. So they're moving the 1st Brigade over, Negley's Brigade. So here's part of the AI. I think one area the AI needs better work on. You're crossing a ford? Maybe form some sort of coherent battle line. Don't just like mill about on the objective. Meigs is... I wonder if this is Montgomery Meigs? The Quartermaster General? Never commanded troops in the field, though. Alright. Artillery, are you guys firing? You are. What about these guns? They're idle? Oh no, they're firing. You can see them. Meanwhile, we've got, I guess, a reserve. Van Dorn is a reserve of cavalry back here. They don't really have weapons that are good enough to be in the line of battle. But I guess that's the advantage of having the enemy come across a fort at you, is I have a longer firing line, and they can only get so many troops into position against me. Union leadership just pour money into the hole until they can walk over. The Union was more competent than I think. I'm a Union man, Stars, so I would 100% argue that Ulysses S. Grant was in fact the best general of the war, not just in terms of his willingness to fight, but in terms of his ability to fight. The Vicksburg campaign was a masterpiece, and so frankly was the Overland campaign. Although Meade deserves some credit for that too, despite the casualties. The actual maneuvers that occurred as he continued to outflank Lee were immaculate. Now, Lee was competent, so he was able to counter each movement, but each time he did, he got pushed further and further back and closer into Richmond. And they never gave Lee the initiative. I mean, semi-common, yes, Marindia, but certainly not within certain quarters. I also would argue that Meade was a very good general as well, who tends to kind of get overlooked. Meade outfought Lee at Gettysburg and a couple of times in Northern Virginia before Grant showed up. Probably helped that he had Grant at his back, prodding him to continue moving, but I think Meade deserves more reputation than he gets. Anyway, so it looks like we're driving the enemy back here. Yeah, they just don't have the frontage. So this is, I think this is going to be an example of perhaps the AI not being up to the task. The objective for the battle is loose ford, so they push across, they take the ford, and then they just don't really ever get into a competent fighting position. Zoe's good. Or baby is good. Doxing my own child out. Asleep right now, looking at the monitor. Okay, so we drove the enemy back here. We are close to a victory, and the enemy reinforcements from the Army of Northeastern Virginia have not yet arrived. So we're doing some pretty good damage. It's not going to be decisive or anything. The casualties are going to be a little low. The enemy routed kind of easily, probably because we also fought a lot of their skirmishers. Let's go up and take the fort. I think that'll win the battle for us. So we'll advance here. Yeah, it's like Burnside's Bridge. That's the, we could just name this battle. With your handle being Gettysburg. Yeah, but I mean, even Gettysburg, like, because of the slander, or because of the political maneuverings of Sickles, and then also the Southern post-war sort of lost causers who wanted to excuse away Lee's failures, Gettysburg often gets portrayed as a battle of corps commanders rather than a battle that Meade deserves credit for. How are battles won or lost in this game? If you rout the enemy armies as more and more of their troops take casualties or are routed, that influences the battles. There are objectives which are formed on the map. So like Lewis Ford is an objective here. And so I believe you get like victory points for that, but primarily defeating the enemy army by destroying their units and whatnot, and damaging their units is the main thing here. So the enemy's retreating. We're in the pursuit phase. I don't know if we want to try and rush Van Dorn across. I don't know that he'd get into position fast enough. But we can order his cavalry forward and see if we can charge any of the retreating enemy troops. I don't think I've got the time to get him up. Actually, we've got one brigade forward here, so let's pause here. There's only 13 minutes left, but we might wipe that artillery battalion out. So this battery's trying to retreat. They only have 80 men, and I'm ordering these men to charge with their sabers drawn. Overrun them, boys. Force them to surrender. You can also, by the way, in the pursuit phase, lose the battle. Like if enough of your army gets routed that the enemy stands its ground. Imboden is charging forward at the double. You hold the Alt key, by the way, and right click, and you see you get that saber icon, and that's what cues a charge. So Imboden is taking casualties from Negley's brigade, which is shooting back at him. Imboden is obviously outnumbered by the retreating troops, so he's taking some losses here. But there's only 2 minutes left in the pursuit phase. I think we pretty much destroyed the first battery. Well, I took about 50% casualties. So Imboden is charging forward here and inflicting losses on Williams' brigade. And there you go. That's the battle. The pursuit phase ended. So you can see here in terms of losses, the Confederates lost. We lost a little bit more in the manpower than I thought we would. So about 700 troops. 27 cavalrymen. One of our 23 guns. 727 casualties total. The Union lost 1,100 men out of 11,000. So obviously not quite double our infantry losses. They never got the army under McDowell, the Army of Northeastern Virginia, onto the field. So they didn't arrive in time. And then 75 casualties of cavalry. They lost all of their guns, all 20 of their guns. And so 1,400 to 727, Army is victorious. Your New York brain loves that. Well, you know, in terms of how much, I don't know. My Civil War enthusiasm, I'm trying to remember. I remember in like 4th grade we had to like write a journal where in like I think it was an English class where we had to write like our own stories, and for whatever reason I wrote like terrible Civil War fiction. I think I might have been a Confederate at the time in that series. So much of like Civil War media sort of glorifies the Confederacy and Lee and whatnot, at least 20 years ago it did. So that was part of it. Civil War Journal used to be like on the History Channel when I was waiting for the bus, so I'd watch that. My mom actually, when she was younger, they used to like, this is back in the 70s, when she was 60s and 70s, they did like family vacations, and so they like took a car out to Gettysburg and all the Eastern Theater battles. They were from Illinois. And she has these old photos. She still has. They're like projector film, but they're photos. I don't remember what exactly that type of photo was called back then, but like she has old-timey photos of Gettysburg from back then. And I remember like seeing on the shelf, she had the 3-volume history, Shelby Foote's history, which is not great in terms of like standing up to modern scholarly history, because Foote definitely has a bit of a Southern bias, but in terms of literary, they are tremendously written books. Like, I kind of would put it, some historians would probably yell at me for this. I would probably put it like similar to Edward Gibbon's Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, not in terms of its influence, because Gibbon was way more influential, but in terms of like, Gibbon had a lot of really big problems with his Decline and Fall from a historical perspective, but it is an immaculate work of literature. And I would kind of say like that's where Foote falls for me. Like it's one of those things where you read it and it's like this is really catching and it can really drive in interest in a topic. But then go read other stuff from a history perspective, because it is tremendous literary. It's a tremendous work of literature. There's better things for a more modern history understanding of it. Yeah, I mean, Gibbon, like I said, his influence is larger. He was also one of the first modern historians, quote, modern. Victory at Manassas Junction. The Battle of Manassas Junction has ended. The Department of Pennsylvania is retreating in panic. My command has earned a total victory with the enemy running for their lives. The enemy has reportedly suffered a total of 1,300 casualties, 190 killed, 235 captured. Their morale is believed to be stable. We lost 727 men killed with casualties, with 114 killed, 103 missing, the rest wounded. Morale's confident. Supply situation's mediocre. We've captured 683 rifles and 11 guns from the battlefield. 241 enemy soldiers have been captured and taken to our prisoner of war camp. Okay. So, does that mean our prisoner of war camp down near Charleston has some soldiers? It does. 265 of a potential 1,000. We're going to expand the prison camp there, because we've already taken up a quarter of its capacity. Okay, so are you still marching, or can you just chill? Federal volunteers skedaddle. Lincoln calls an emergency meeting. All right, they're withdrawing. There you go. So the Department of Pennsylvania has been defeated near Manassas Junction. Enemy units rout. That's good for us because we defeated almost half their force. Oh, the Army of Pennsylvania, 17,000. Is this the army we just defeated? I don't think so. I think that was a different army. There's 17,000 men that they're raising. I really, really, really want to see the AI merge armies. They need to do that so badly for this game to work. If it's just like each army gets raised at a certain number of units and troops, and then like new armies get raised that are larger over time, that is really going to piss me off. Yep, prison camps are new thin, at least from the last time I played it. Financial situation. Hey, that's a pretty goddamn big surplus. I don't know where all that money came from. Credit rating back to AAA. Hell yeah. Projects. I need more goddamn guns. What do cavalry carbines do for me? Finance mass production of rapid-firing, short-range cavalry carbines of different types. All the weapons have been in production already in the 1850s, but as their use and hence demand has remained low, the number of these weapons has remained limited. I need more rifles. Confederate rifles. No. Oh, do I not have enough money yet? Okay. Just looks like I don't have enough money, so wait just a little bit longer. Have a good one, Mag. Where did they go? Is Washington, D.C. unguarded? Probably not. Should we make a play for Washington, D.C.? Ammunition has been replenished, I think, right? No, not quite. Almost. I don't get the sense that, like, I didn't use 26% of my artillery ammunition, so where did it go? Okay. Confederate rifles. Yes. There we go. So we just did the subsidy for Confederate rifles. Does that instantly change what's available to me, or does it take time? So some of these guys still had mixed muskets, right? So let's see what the options are. Springfield rifle, no. Richmond rifle. I mean, it's there, but it's not produced yet, so it looks like it takes time. Confederate version of the Springfield rifle musket is the Richmond. What's the Fayetteville again? 1855 rifle copy? With a Maynard primer? Okay. But with that being said, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We won our first battle. We fought our first battle and won it in the Eastern Theater, driving back the Department of Pennsylvania or Eastern Pennsylvania or whatever Patterson's army was. McDowell hasn't moved yet, although those troops are building up their strength. We can see various units are getting stronger over time. So we'll see how that plays out in the coming videos. We'll probably jump ahead in this one a little bit. This is where the stream ended, but we'll probably jump ahead a bit to another battle or something happening. We're kind of in that in-between phase where armies are just sort of being built, organized, and policies are unfolding, but we aren't in a ton of active campaigning. So we'll jump ahead to where more active campaigning takes place in our next video. Until our next video, however, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching, as always, and until next time, I'm out.